When you develop an Access application for your users, one of the most common tasks you'll have them perform is to click a command button that displays a database object. In this movie, I'll show you how to create a VBA macro to open a form. For this movie, we will use the form that is named Open a Form, but we'll want to open it in Design View. So I will right-click that form, and then from the pop-up menu that appears, click Design View. When we do, we get the form in Design View, and it contains the Display Products Form command button. Now I'm going to right-click the command button, and from the shortcut menu that appears, click Build Event. Then in the Choose Builder dialog box, I'll click Code Builder because we want to use VBA code that runs when we click the button, and then click OK. Clicking OK causes Access to create a new code module that is attached to the button, and it will operate when the button is clicked. So that is why it is named private sub command 0, which is the name of the button, and then underscore click, which is the action that will drive this code. So now I'll press Enter twice and the up arrow once to give myself some room within the code module. And now I can type in the code that will open the form. The simplest way to open a form is to use the doCommand.openForm method. So for that, I'll type in do capital CMD period, and then the name of the method under the doCommand object is openForm, O-P-E-N capital F-O-R-M, and then a space. After you type the space, Access displays the arguments for this particular method. The only one that's required is the form name. So I'll type double quote, and then the name of the form is products, P-R-O-D-U-C-T-S, and then close the quotes. Now that I have that code, I can press Alt F11 to go back to the form, change the form to Form View. For that, on the Design tab of the ribbon, I'll just click the View button, and that clicks it over to Form View. And now, when I click the Display Products Form button, the form appears. What happened was that I clicked the command button, and then Access ran the code that was attached to it and identified when it was clicked. Now that's not all you can do with the Open Form method. So I'm going to close the Products form by right-clicking its tab and then clicking Close. And now I'm going to press Alt F11 to go back to the VBA code module. So what are some other things that you can do with the Open Form method? Well, if you type a comma, then Access displays the other attributes or the other arguments that you can use for the Open Form method. The first thing you can specify is what sort of view you want to open the form in. In this case, and I'll press Escape to get rid of the super tooltip there, we have Design, Form Design, Pivot Chart, Pivot Table, Layout, Normal, and Preview. So we have all these different views that you can choose from. If you don't specify which view you want, then you get Normal. So for the purposes of this exercise, I am going to use the down arrow key to highlight Preview, and then press the Tab key to accept it. And now when I type a comma, I get the rest of the arguments. The next argument is called filter name. A filter name or a filter is a query within the database. So let's say, for example, that I had a query, which I do, called by name, which sorts the contents of the products field that are displayed in the products table alphabetically by name as opposed to by product ID. So if I wanted to use that query as a filter, type double quotes and then the name of the query, which is by capital B-Y space name, capital N-A-M-E, and then double quotes and a comma. Next is the where condition argument, and where condition uses a SQL, which is structured query language, query, which is put in without a where statement. In this case, SQL queries are beyond the scope of this course, so I won't be covering it here. So I'll just type a comma. And next, we have the data mode. This argument tells the users whether they can open the form in add mode, edit mode, property settings mode, or read-only mode. Read-only mode is extremely useful because it allows you to give users access to the data, but without allowing them to change it. So I'm going to press the down arrow key 4 times to highlight the form read-only property, or argument setting in this case, and press Tab. And now I'll type a comma and select what type of window mode I want for this. We can open it as a dialog, as a hidden box, which means that it's invisible, but it is open and can be acted upon, as an icon, or as a normal window. I'm going to hit the down arrow key 4 times for normal window and press tab. And then finally, if I were to type a comma, I could add open arguments, which are specific controls, but again, those are beyond the scope of this course, so I won't be using them. Now if I press enter, I see the command in the code window, and press Alt F11 to go back to the form. So now when I click the Display Products Form button, Access opens the form in preview mode, which I specified, and it uses the other parameters. And also, even though I can display the data, you'll notice that I can't select it. So even if I were to close Print Preview mode and go back to Form mode, even though I could select the data inside of a form field, I couldn't edit it. So for example, right now I'm tapping the spacebar and it's not changing it. Same thing here in the bottle value in the product packaging field. If I type, nothing happens. So that's the benefit of opening the form in read-only mode. If all you want to do is open a form, you can use the simple do command.openForm code followed by the form's name in quotes. If you want more control over how it opens, set the method's arguments so you get the effect you want.